Wassup Youtube, PokePrimer here, prime and ready to deliver you Week 3's Team Builder for the PFCFL. Last week, the Hazleton Hoopas were able to scrape by with a 1-0 victory over the Lisburn Rapidashes after Dustin Wire was able to clean up all of his weakened down mons at the end of the match. Now, do I feel like that's going to happen again? Probably not, because I feel like this battle is going to be a lot more punch for punch than anything. Because when I say this team is strangely built, but frightening all the most, I'm not kidding. You're going to be facing Andy and the South City Genesects this week. Now, if you guys remember from last season, Andy was the coach of the Golden State War Turtles, and in regular season play, we never beat him. We didn't get a chance to actually beat him until we were in the playoffs, which was monumental for us to win in the first place, but still, it was a tad difficult, I'm not gonna lie. It was a tough win, and he's a phenomenal battler, so I definitely can see him potentially beating us this week. But hopefully that's not going to happen with the team that we've built here. But before we go over that, I'm going to explain to you, I'm going to read off his team. So the potential mons that Andy could be bringing against us are Conkeldurr, Rotom-Wash, and Togekiss for his OU mons, Crocodile, Mega Sceptile, and Deblade for his UU mons, Smeargle, Clawitzer, and Asselgore for his RU mons, and Quagsire, Archeops, and Illumise as his potential NU mons. Now, I did already have a team builder recorded for this week, but then, like last minute yesterday, he made his free agency swap, dropped his Ninjask, and picked up Illumise, which really doesn't change too much of my planning, but enough of it that it's significant that I had to redo my team. One mon that stayed completely the same is going to be Chun-Li the Mega Lopunny. This is the exact same set I was going to run originally. It's a very, very interesting set, so bear in mind before you look at it and be like, what the hell is this jumbled up garbage? Bear with me as I go over it. We have 188 speed. It takes us to 179, which is 1 point faster than Archeops, which with a high jump kick, we OHKO and Archeops. The 4 is thrown into special defense for no reason. The other 4 is to make our HP an odd number, so we have an extra number of Stealth Rock switch-ins. I threw this leftover 60 into our defense because a lot of the things that potentially could threaten us are physical attackers. So I wanted to put a little extra bit of a cushion in there to potentially live those hits a little better. We're running obviously max attack with an adamant nature because that's what we really need to, because we're not outspeeding his fastest mons by any means with Asselgore and Mega Sceptile. There's no way. They got base 145 speed. We're not catching up to that anytime soon. So running Jolly would be just silly and a waste of our time and a waste of precious EVs. So we decided to just go with this setup right here. Seems like the best possible setup. Moveset, we're rocking Fake Out, High Jump Kick, Ice Punch, and Bounce. Fake Out is there. Basically, this is our lead counter. His 2 different leads have very specific strategies with them. Smeargle. He used a belly drumming Smeargle this past week. Couldn't really get it off, but he has it so as a potential lead. And if he decides to bring a Spore Smeargle, this counters it perfectly, as I can go for a Fake Out and then High Jump Kick, Ice Punch, or whatever. We'll clean it up after the Fake Out, because the Fake Out will do like 50-some% at least, and then Ice Punch will do more than enough to finish up the Smeargle. Asselgore, the counter for that is he first turn protects and then second turn final gambits. It's risky. It would be very, very risky, and really realistically I probably would end up clicking Fake Out. But if there's any point in the battle where I feel like I'm gonna force something out, I can click Bounce. And like this could also work for the Asselgore, because if it goes for Protect, I go up in the air. He's faster than me, so he knows he would fire off a hit first and miss it because I'd be up in the air, and then I'd hit him with a super effective bounce, and then he'd have to swap out, and he couldn't swap out to the other Mon that's faster than me, being Mega Sceptile, because it's weak to the bounce. So he'd have to swap out to something else that could potentially take it and potentially get a paralysis on that Mon. See, he swaps in his Archeops and maybe Scarfed. Boom, paralysis, not Scarfed anymore, basically. Allows me to kill it off really easily next turn. He brings in Crocodile. Boom, paralyzed. If it's potentially Scarfed, even better. Boom, paralyzed, I kill it next turn. He brings in Doublade. Paralyzed, I two-shot it with high jump kick. Bottom line is, this Mega Lopunny kind of counters a lot of his team, and I feel like if played right, this Mega Lopunny can be a serious contender this week. And I need to be careful with this Mega Lopunny, because if one mess up and it's gone, and then that's going to lead to a lot of issues for the rest of my team. I also got to really watch for that Illumise, as it can come in and Thunder Wave me whenever it wants to, and that's not good. So I really have to be careful with that. I really have to try and avoid getting Thunder Wave by the Illumise if he brings it this week. That thing's going to be scary. In all honesty, I'm really scared of the Illumise, which is kind of sad to admit. I'm not scared about the rest of his team, especially the Asselgore, because I have things that can take a Final Gambit, so I'm not too worried about that. I have like 2 Mons that can take a Final Gambit, 3 Mons that can take a Final Gambit, guaranteed Final Gambit eaters. Like they will live with, you know, a little bit of HP, but they will definitely be able to take a solid Final Gambit from Asselgore and live it, so that we don't lose our differential at all. Because we need to start picking up big wins, because there's other people in the league like Ronnie and the San Jose Sharpedos, and they are getting like absolute insane differentials. He's already at the +10. He's got double the differential we do. That's not good in my opinion. But yeah, I don't want to get Thunder Waved by it. I have to try to avoid letting him set up a Tailwind. That would be very devastating. That could potentially be very devastating to us. Subs, I'm not a fan of either. We can't allow that to happen. Basically, we can't allow Illumise to live very long. I mean, it's got paper defenses. It's got base 55 defense, base 75 special defense. It's got paper defenses. We can punch through that really quickly. It's just a matter of getting the right Mon to do so. So that's going to be something that we have to work with and work towards. But this is going to be our Mega Lopunny. It's a good counter and check to a lot of Mons on his team, so we should be able to run that effectively. Next Mon we have is going to be Shaman, and we're going to be actually running a very specially defensive Shaman this week, with 236 HP, 252 in defense with a calm nature, and 20 into speed. That 20 into speed allows us to outspeed Clawitzer 100% of the time if he's not Scarfed. We outspeed Clawitzer by 1 point, which allows us to quickly fire off a Seed Flare against it and cause some massive damage. And with being specially defensive, Clawitzer can't really do anything severe to us. So since we outspeed him, we'll be able to potentially, if not OHKO, potentially two-shot him with Seed Flare. I haven't run the damage calcs on that yet, but we potentially can two-shot him with Seed Flare, which is really nice. And even if he's doing more than we want to, if it comes down to it, we can always Synthesis in front of his face. And since we are faster than him, we can Synthesis ourselves up right back up to full health while he just kind of sits there and just cries. So we got Seed Flare, Air Slash, Aromatherapy, and Synthesis. Seed Flare is there, obviously, to hit all the Mons on his team that are weak to grass in Rotom Wash, Crocodile, Clawitzer, and especially Quagsire. Quagsire would absolutely just be demolished by a Seed Flare. Air Slash is there for his flying weaknesses, being Illumise. This Mon actually takes on Illumise very nicely, because while it does not speed it, and obviously Illumise is super effective against it, Illumise is more of a special attacker. So We can actually eat a bug buzz from an Illumise very, very nicely, and fire off an air slash and do some massive, massive damage to it. Also, this could potentially be a thing that we take on Asselgore with, because Asselgore is faster than us. We can eat a Final Gambit if we have to. We can eat just about anything else he wants to throw at us. So that's a thing. We can take on Conkeldurr, not as well. If he has Ice Punch, we're pretty much gonna die. But we can hit that thing with an Air Slash if we have to. If we absolutely have to. We do outspeed it because Conkeldurr slow as balls. But that come down to, and we could pretty much, unless he's running HP Fire, we pretty much wall his Mega in Mega Sceptile. We pretty much eat any hit that thing can go for against us. Unless he brings a physical one, we pretty much can shut that thing down. So that's kind of going to be the basicness of our Shaman. Aromatherapy obviously is there. Since Shaman has Natural Cure, he's not worried about statuses, but the rest of my team is. So if we can keep statuses off my team, for example, like if Illumise Thunderwave something, we don't want that to be a thing. So we can like Aromatherapy. We can more bulk and hits. We can, if we force a switch or something, we can quickly Aromatherapy, and then everyone's cured and ready to go. And the synthesis is for the recovery again, like I said. Next up is going to be our physical wall, being Seismitoad, aka Zitz, holding the leftovers with Water Absorb. Water Absorb could potentially come in clutch this week with a Rotom Wash, a Clodser, and a Quagsire, all potentially firing off stab water moves. It could become really useful, especially if we decide to use this mon as our final Gambit Eater, which would be really, really nice. 248 HP, 4 into defense, 252 defense with a relaxed nature. We're gonna put that 4 into that extra 4 into special attack. I don't know where that extra 4 came from, but yeah, there it is. But moveset wise, wait, none of these are, yeah, that doesn't affect anything. We're gonna put that 8 into physical attack. Now we're going to put that 8 into special. Yeah, special. That's a better plan. So basically, as you can see with the Seismitoad, we have no stab moves. Because looking at his team, he has, when it comes to water, while he does have 2 weaknesses in Crocodile and Archeops, he also has a quad resistance in Mega Sceptile, a resistance in Rotom Wash, a resistance in Clodser, and a potential immunity in Quagsire, because I believe Quagsire also gets Water Absorb. So that was kind of, would have been asinine to ring. And ground type, he only has one mon that's weak to ground, being to Blade. But he also has resistances in Sceptile. He has an immunity in Rotom Wash and Togekiss and Archeops. So that kind of seemed a little bit silly as well. So I saw no reason to bring it this week with Stab. So we're running the Stealth Rocks, obviously. We want to try to get those up. This could also be a potential lead. It'll come down to whatever I think is best in the battle at the time. If I want to get the rocks up early, because looking at his team, Togekiss can get rid of rocks, obviously. But I'm pretty sure that's it. Maybe Archeops, but I'm not 100% sure. But I don't think Archeops gets defog. I could be wrong, but I don't think it does. So that could be a huge thing for us if we can get our rocks up and then handle the Togekiss appropriately. We can really, really cripple his team with the rocks. Because a lot of his mons take 25% from it on entry, so that'd be really, really nice to have. We have Hidden Power Grass for all those grass weaknesses that I mentioned earlier. Quagsire would always be able to switch in on this thing, and it just can't now. We also have the Ice Punch, which is basically there for the Mega Sceptile switch in, because Mega Sceptile switches in on this thing as well. So that's kind of nice. And you wouldn't stay in on it, but we can definitely fire off an Ice Punch on a switch, and potentially do some massive damage to the Sceptile, especially if it's already mega. If it's already mega, it dies because quad weakness, which I don't understand why they gave a quad weakness to an already frail mon. I don't know. That's just me. I mean, they gave him speed, but priority's a thing. He doesn't live in Ice Shard from like anything, but that's neither here nor there. That's my feels on Mega Sceptile. We also packed on Knockoff, mostly for utility purposes. If things are swapping around, we can knock a few items off, or if something's sitting in front of us with the leftovers that's trying to stall us out, we can knock that off as well. That we just want to try and speeding up the match. Knocking off a few items here and there is definitely key. The next mon we're going to be running is with a nickname given to me by Frank, aka Fuetsky, the coach of the Sherbrooke Talonflames. It's Frost Tom. Frost Tom is going to be probably one of our most clutch mons this week because now that Ninjask is gone, with a Choice Scarf, Frost Tom outspeeds his entire team. With this build, Frost Tom outspeeds his whole team because with a Choice Scarf, with 210 speed and a timid nature, with the Choice Scarf, Frost Tom hits 219 speed, which is 3 points faster than Asselgore or Mega Sceptile. So if we can get in there and start firing off blizzards, we can just absolutely destroy his team. We have moveset wise, we have Blizzard, Volt Switch, Hidden Power Grass, and Dark Pulse. This is going to be a very good revenge killer this week as well, as Frost Tom can come in, do massive damage to Deblade with the Dark Pulse, and come in, do massive damage to can absolutely decimate Quagsire, and do massive damage to Clawitzer and Rotomosh with the Hidden Power Grass. The Volt Switch, as long as Crook and or Mega Sceptile are gone, we can freely fire off Volt Switches and fly our way and build up that momentum, which is really, really nice to have. Blizzard, we can just click Blizzard, especially if one or two of his water types are gone, and even if he just has Quagsire, we can click Blizzard because it's neutral, and it's going to do massive, massive damage to a lot of his team, and that's a really, really, really nice. This Rotom is going to be an absolute killer this week. Absolute killer this week because it's just so good. It's just, there's not much more I can say about it. It's a phenomenal mon, and it completely shuts down his whole team. Like, the only thing that could potentially stop us sweeping with this thing is Conkeldurr. Basically, the only thing that can stop us is Conkeldurr. Because we can't get paralyzed by Illumise, so that thing can't really do shit to us. And we have moves to hit his entire roster. I mean, Smeargle isn't going to stop us because Smeargle's frail as hell. So if it takes even the slightest of hits, it's dying. Yeah, he can't stop this Rotom right now. So there's that. He's going to be an absolute help this week. And obviously, you see the 44. You can see the spread. You see it makes sense. He's got odd HP because, yeah, we only gave him that much speed because that's what we needed. We're not going to waste EVs in speed just because we're stupid. The next mon we're bringing is actually Choice Banded Entei. Didn't get to do much last week, but hopefully that's going to change this week. This is another one of our Final Gambit eating mons with 191 total HP. He can eat one 100% because Asselgore maxes out, I believe, 187. So that's a thing. Because we have 4 into HP, 4 into defense and special defense. We got 244 speed. We need that 244 speed so that we can outspeed the Illumise, which I know is kind of silly to want to do, but yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do. I really wanted to be able to outspeed that thing because Prankster's annoying. I don't like Prankster. I never did like Prankster. I hate Prankster. Not a fan of it at all. But it would outspeed us, obviously, with Prankster, potentially paralyze us, but being able to outspeed it naturally is kind of nice. and kind of can scare it out a bit. Especially if we can, anytime, even if we're paralyzed, we can click extreme speed, and that over prioritizes his prankster stuff. So we can do, so if he's already down kind of low, actually, let me, you're going to see this live, but let me pull up damage calc right now. Let me pull up a damage calc right now. Let me run this real quick. I apologize if you're seeing this, but Illumise, give me a Adamant Nature, Choice Band. Give me Extreme Speed. Extreme Speed's doing 48 to 52% if he's like a bold nature. Sacred Fire, however, since we do outspeed it, Sacred Fire is doing like retarded damage. Sacred Fire kills it no matter what. Even if he's max defense bold, with max HP, we kill it with a Sacred Fire in every universe. So that's good to have, the ability to just outright destroy this thing. Ironhead is there for the Togekiss and the Archeops. We don't outspeed the Archeops, which is a problem, but we can eat any one hit from the Archeops and kill it off with an Ironhead. Hidden Power Grass is there to kind of catch him off guard. If he sees that we're physical, which most Entei are, if he sees that we're fully physical, he's going to try to switch in his, like, Quagsires and such to eat up those hits, and he won't be able to eat up a Hidden Power Grass very nicely. So there's that. Yeah, so that's going to be our Entei. Very simple. Next mon, last mon, is going to be 3 Fancy 5U, the Assault Vested Gardevoir. This mon put in a lot of work in week 1 against Jacob's team, the Carlisle Gudras, as it was able to take out, was able to easily take out, what do we call it, his Gudra, and then was able to set up his Drapion for defeat later in the match, which is really, really great for us. This week, we're running 188 speed, so that we can outspeed the Clydesdale by 1 point. 4 in special defense, because that's what I always do with my Assault Vest mons, so that they get that little extra tiny bit of boost. Max special attack with Modest Nature, and 64 into HP, so that we have an odd number. Now, normally I would go max HP, but I felt like having it be able to outspeed Clydesdale this week was really important, and also at minimum at 0 speed, which is what I would have been at. We don't outspeed Conkeldurr either, which is a problem in my eyes. So, moveset, we have Moonblast, which is going to hit the Conkeldurr real hard, and it's going to hit that Crocodile and Sceptile really hard. Energy Ball, which is going to destroy the Crocodile as well. Also, all of his grass weaknesses, especially the Quagsire. Hidden Power Fire. Hidden Power Fire is there to hit the Doublade massively hard, as well as potentially the Excelgor if it came down to that, but I don't think it would. Also, the Illumise would get hit pretty hard with it as well. Lastly, we have Thunderbolt. We can't fire those off until Mega Sceptile's gone, but Thunderbolt's there for the Togekiss. Thunderbolt is there for his Archeops and his other water types as well that aren't part ground type. And that's going to hit them all very, very, very hard. So, that's simply put, that's going to be the team for this week. Very, very interesting team. Not typically one I normally would run. I'm kind of sketchy on Gardevoir because he does have a Doublade, but I feel like we have adequate ways of handling that Doublade, so we'll see what happens. If you guys are excited for week 3 of the PFCFL, please make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, I'm PokePrimer, signing off.